Nishat Noor and welcome to Millennium Headlines. This week's top headlines are: Scary crash takes out leader Anna Van Gluwen in women's cycling road race. 41-year-old gymnast Oksana Chusovitina is proof that age is just enough. It's about to get a lot harder for minors to vape. Mental stability now an issue in presidential race. Trump more fun than Clinton and would improve U.S.-Russia ties. President Obama's weekly address. Now the details to this week's top headlines. Leader Anna Van Gluwen of Netherlands was involved in a spectacular crash in the final stages of the women's cycling road race by Copacabana Beach on Sunday. Van Gluwen looked headed for victory as she sped down the Vista Ceniza descent alone in slippery conditions after dropping breakaway companion Mara Abbott of United States. But Van Gluwen lost control around a corner and clipped a curb to send her sprawling over her handlebar off the road. The crash put Abbott into the lead by 40 seconds with fewer than 10 kilometers left in the race. The American was overtaken by the rapidly advancing pack as she headed toward the finish line. She ended up fourth. Van Gluwen was unconscious for a considerable period of time, Dutch cycling team manager Johan Lammerts told USA Today Sports. She regained consciousness before being loaded into an ambulance to be taken to a local hospital. Lammerts said he would join Van Gluwen at the hospital after wrapping up events at the cycling venue. Eventual winner Anna van der Breggen, Van Gluwen's teammate, was in tears, being consoled by silver medalist Emma Johansson of Sweden and bronze medalist Eliza Longo Borghini of Italy, before she stepped to accept her gold medal.
Rápido aí, ó. Não, nós vamos precisar disso. Tem que vir a ambulância.
Ambulância?
Tem que vir a ambulância assim, ó.
Ora bem, nós aqui. Espera lá.
Even Oksana Chusovitina's son wants to know how long the ageless gymnast will keep competing, and he gets the same answers as everyone else. Wait and see, honey, Chusovitina said with a slight smile. The 41-year-old was on the floor for a record 7th Olympic game on Sunday. To put that in better perspective, one of the gymnasts competing in her rotation was Croatia's Anna Derek, born in September 1998, 2 months before Chusovitina's 17-year-old son, Alisher. Well, when I compete on the podium, if they gave a few more marks for the age, it would have been great, Chusovitina said. Otherwise, well, we're all equal and we just have to compete against each other as equals. Chusovitina would be an inspiration no matter what her sport, that she's still competing at a high level in gymnastics, where 22-year-old Ally Riceman is nicknamed Grandma, makes her that much more remarkable. She's not just showing up either. Chusovitina was the silver medalist on vault, her specialty, at the Beijing Olympics, and was fifth 4 years ago. At this year's test event, which qualified her for Rio, she was second on vault. With a score of 14,999 Sunday, she has a chance to make the vault final again. Competing into her 40s wasn't Chusovitina's original plan. She presented the unified team at her first Olympics in 1992 and her native country of Uzbekistan after that. for Alisher was diagnosed with leukemia in 2002, and he was offered treatment in Germany. As a way to thank the country for its kindness and her son's life, Chusovitina began competing for Germany in 2006. With her debt repaid by her medal in the Beijing Games, she resumed representing Uzbekistan. As the calendar and the countries represented changed, Chusovitina's remained the one constant. I really love the sport, she said through a translator. I love to give pleasure to the public. I love to come out and perform for the public and for the fans. Chusovitina had said in London that would be her last game, and she smiled when she was remained in that Sunday. I'm a woman, she said, answering in English when asked to explain the change of heart. Switching back to Russian for a more serious answer, she said she had thought she was finished, but then she woke up the next morning. I felt that I could do more, she said, which is why she now refuses to put an expiration date on her career. If she's enjoying it and still has the skills to compete with girls her son's age, why not keep going? I'm alive, I'm well, she said with a smile. That means everything's okay. New federal regulations for electronic cigarettes go into effect Monday, requiring greater scrutiny of the products and making it more difficult for minors to vape. The Food and Drug Administration will have to approve all e-cigarette products that have been available since February 2007. That means nearly every e-cigarette product on the market just go through an application process to deem whether it can continue to be sold. Manufacturers will be able to keep selling their products for up to 2 years while they submit a new production application, plus an additional year while the FDA reviews it. Vape shops cannot give free samples to customers or sell to people younger than 18 under the new regulations. Merchants will be required to ask for identification from customers who appear to be under the age of 27. And vending machine sales of e-cigarettes are prohibited unless the machines are in adult-only facilities. Also covered are premium hand-rolled cigars, as well as hookah and pipe tobacco. Before the new regulations, there was no federal law prohibiting retailers from selling e-cigarettes, hookah tobacco, or cigars to minors, though almost all states already prohibit such sales.
It's a quiet Sunday morning at Parlor Vapes in Mobile, but there's a lot of chatter about the changes hitting the industry, like the paperwork.
This is one company that makes 4 juices. Look at that.
For every single product in the store every month.
Yeah, we go through about a stack of office paper every month.
For manager John Michael Theriot, the new regs are a pain. But surprisingly, some were already put into practice long ago, like child-proof caps and no selling to minors. The biggest problem vape sellers have is now they're limited in how they can talk to customers.
And we cannot compare it to smoking in any way, shape, or form, even though we've seen many, many people quit smoking by doing this. We can't say that.
The new regulations treat vaping like any tobacco product, even though these liquids have nicotine, not tobacco. The new regulations make it harder to get new customers also.
That means none of these entities, including the retail stores you see on a daily basis in your local shopping center, we cannot advertise, we cannot market, we cannot tell our story and maybe reach those people who are currently looking for an alternative to tobacco.
Free samples are no more, and it may be harder to get new products on the shelf. While the rules may be in place for safety reasons, the manager here says the regs severely limit what he can and cannot say about products and hardware, and says he couldn't correct someone from installing a battery the wrong way because of how the new rules work.
The presidential campaign has reached the point to where Donald Trump and his critics have begun to question each other's sanity. Trump took to questioning the stability of Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton's stability over the weekend, calling her a dangerous liar during an appearance Saturday night in New Hampshire. She's a totally unhinged person, Trump said, while indicating Clinton for her email controversy and other issues. She's unbalanced. While the Clinton campaign did not engage the Republican on the mental issue, Trump's critics have raised similar questions about him. They include conservative Republicans who have questioned the businessman's comments on issues ranging from sexual harassment to a judge's Mexican heritage. When you act as if you're insane, people are liable to think you're insane, writes conservative columnist Peggy Newman. That's what happened this week. People started to become convinced he was nuts, a total flake. After a rough couple of days, including Trump's dispute with the Muslim parent of U.S. soldier who died in Iraq, the Republican nominee has fallen behind Clinton in a number of national polls. It's unfortunate that Trump's only method of dealing with his own disastrous week is to lash out with more absurd personal attacks, the Clinton campaign said in a statement. Hillary Clinton will keep her focus on her plans to build an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the top.
What President Obama said was that he didn't have these same feelings of unfitness about Mitt Romney, didn't have these same feelings of unfitness about John McCain. He would have been disappointed if they were elected, but he wouldn't have feared for the future of the country. And it's the argument that we've made at the Washington Post editorial page that Trump is uniquely unfit and poses a unique danger, both because of his lack of knowledge and because of his temperament.
Most Russians appear to favor Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton as the next United States president because the Republican nominee is a man more fun and has nice things to say about Russia. In August, polled by the All-Russian Center for Public Opinion found 34% of respondents expected relations between Russia and the United States to improve if Trump wins, while only 6% say they would improve if Clinton is elected president. By contrast, 53% said they believe relations would worsen if Clinton became president, compared to 12% who felt that way if Trump was elected.
Relations between the two nations have been severely strained since Russia's seizure and annexation of Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula in 2014, a move decried as illegal by President Obama, who imposed economic sanctions in retaliation. Hillary Clinton is an astoundingly thick concentration of all the evil in this world, journalist Dmitry Olshinsky wrote July 23 on Facebook. Against that background, the simplicity, rude jokes and fun of Trump is like a fresh breeze. For Russia it's better to have something new than the well-worn old, said Konstantin Osakhin, a music teacher. We already know that Clinton as Secretary of State led a policy of weakening Russia and creating a negative image. Trump is a businessman, so he is more pragmatic. Also he is a man. Trump's praise of Russian President Vladimir Putin and recent comment that he would consider recognizing Crimea as part of Russia have made a favorable impression on Russians like Osakhin. If Trump is president, I think he will be able to avoid aggressive policies suggested by the State Department, he said. Such pro-Trump views may be the result of similar opinions expressed by media controlled by the Russian government, sociologists say. State propaganda tends to give a favorable view of Trump, and this is reflected in public opinion, said Lev Gudkov, head of the independent Levada Center polling organization. Partly this is because Trump is in awe of Putin. Trump has gushed about the Russian president, saying he would get along well with him, that Putin was a leader, unlike Obama. Putin, in turn, has called Trump bright and talented. In addition, Trump has business ties here. Russian billionaire Arasy Galarav spent $20 million to hold the Miss Universe pageant that Trump brought to Moscow in 2013. The venue for the pageant was a Galarav's Crocus City Hall. By contrast, Clinton's stance toward Russia during her tenure as Secretary of State was viewed by analysts here as hawkish and led to a sour relationship with Putin. In 2011, Putin blamed her for meddling in Russian politics and helping the anti-Kremlin street protest movement that swept Russia in the winter of 2011 to 2012.
In this week's address, President Obama celebrated the beginning of the Summer Olympics by wishing Team USA the best of luck as they compete on the world stage.
Every 4 years, our nation's attention turns to a competition that's as heated as it is historic. People pack arenas and wave flags. Journalists judge every move and overanalyze every misstep. Sometimes we're let down, but more often we're lifted up. And just when we think we've seen it all, we see something happen in a race that we've never seen before. I'm talking, of course, about the Summer Olympics. This month, Rio is hosting the first ever games held in South America, and we're ready to root on Team USA. We're excited to see who will inspire us this time, whose speed will remind us of Jesse Owens, whose feats will remind us of Bob Beeman's amazing jump, which young American will leave us awestruck, the way a teenager named Carrie Strug did when she stuck that landing, and when another kid named Cassius Clay gave the world its first glimpse of greatness. Who will match Mary Lou Retton's perfection, or pull off an upset like Rulon Gardner's, or dominate like Dream Team? That's why we watch. And we have a lot to look forward to this year. Team USA reminds the world why America always sets the gold standard. We're a nation of immigrants that finds strength in our diversity and unity in our national pride. Our athletes hail from 46 states, D.C., and the Virgin Islands. Our team boasts the most women who have ever competed for any nation at any Olympic Games. It includes active duty members of our military and our veterans. We've got basketball players who stand nearly 7 feet tall and a gymnast who's 4'8". And Team USA spans generations. A few athletes who are almost as old as I am, and one born just a year before my younger daughter. Our roster includes a gymnast from Texas who's so trailblazing they named a flip after her. A young woman who persevered through a tough childhood in Flint, Michigan to become the first American woman to win gold in the boxing ring. And a fencing champion from suburban Jersey who will become the first American Olympian to wear a hijab while competing. And on our Paralympic team, we're honored to be represented by a Navy veteran who lost his sight while serving in Afghanistan and continues to show us what courage looks like every time he jumps in the pool. When you watch these games, remember that it's about so much more than the moments going by in a flash. Think about the countless hours these athletes put in, knowing it could mean the difference in a split-second victory that earns them a lifetime of pride and gives us enduring memories. It's about the character it takes to train your heart out, even when no one's watching. Just hard work, focus, and a dream. That's the Olympic spirit, and it's the American spirit too. In our Olympians, we recognize that no one accomplishes greatness alone. Even solo athletes have a coach beside them and a country behind them. In a season of intense politics, let's cherish this opportunity to come together around one flag. In a time of challenge around the world, let's appreciate the peaceful competition and sportsmanship we'll see, the hugs and high fives, and the empathy and understanding between rivals who know we share a common humanity. Let's honor the courage it takes, not only to cross the finish line first, but merely to stand in the starting blocks. And let's see in ourselves the example they set, proving that no matter where you're from, with determination and discipline, there's nothing you can't achieve. That idea that you can succeed no matter where you're from is especially true this year. We'll cheer on athletes on the first ever Olympic refugee team. 10 competitors from the Congo, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Syria who personify endurance. To all of our Olympic and Paralympic athletes wearing the red, white, and blue, know that your country couldn't be prouder of you. We admire all the work you've done to get to Rio and everything you'll do there. Thank you for showing the world the best of America. And know that when you get up on that podium, we'll be singing the national anthem and maybe even shedding a tear right alongside you. Now go bring home the gold.
Scary crash takes out leader Anna Van Gluren in women's cycling road race. 41-year-old gymnast Oksana Chusovitina is proof that age is just enough. It's about to get a lot harder for minors to vape. Mental stability now an issue in presidential race. Trump more fun than Clinton and would improve U.S.-Russia ties. President Obama's weekly address. This has been Nishat Noor. Thank you for watching Miliam Headlines. See you next week.
News10.